this is what I always say about her. I know she's got a list of, credentials as long as, or probably longer than my arm, but alls I know is that if you look at her, into her eyes, you will see Seneca Lake.
Hi, everybody. You'll hear from me more when we're at the courthouse. I just want to leave you with a couple of questions to ponder while you march. I want to tell you about a place that I just came from in southwestern Pennsylvania. If you drive straight south from here, you'll get there. It's a town called Houston, Pennsylvania. And it's in the Appalachian area. It's right next to West Virginia. So the hills are a little bit closer together than ours are, and there are kind of real hollers there. And on the top of one of these ridges, that entirely covered with trees, that if you looked at the before picture, you might think that you were in Yellowstone Park. All you saw was trees. Now what you see on top of that ridge is a 110-acre facility that makes LPG. This is where all the gas, raw gas from all the fracking wells across southwestern Pennsylvania is brought. And in a huge complex, the butane and the methane and the ethane are all separated out from the methane. The methane is put into a pipeline and continues on its way, and the butane and the propane are put in tankers, which I saw. So this facility has railroad cars, it has monstrous truck yards with the big tankers that are being filled. This facility has 6 flare stacks. This facility has these big round spherical domes. This facility is making people sick. So I was in the home of someone who has an air monitor to measure the air in their indoor air. Every time the flare stacks go off, it goes into the danger zone. Lightning struck this facility in the end of May, and there was an evacuation order, but no one could evacuate because trees were down on the roads. Nobody came. So people lived in terror in their homes, looking up at the ridge at the fire that was burning next to all of these explosive gases, wondering if any second they were going to be vaporized. So my question for you is, I don't know if this is the facility that will be the source for the LPG that comes here. I'm working on that question, but the so-called industrial chains of custody are very hard to research. But if not a facility in Houston, Texas, then one that looks just like that. So here's my first question for you tonight. I want you to look up at that ridge over there. Just look up at the trees on the top of the ridge, and I want you to imagine a 110-acre facility with 6 flare stacks and black smoke and endless stadium industrial noise and lighting that goes 24/7 that would make you terrorized to be inside your own house. And ask if you want this community to aid and abet what's going on in the fracking fields of Pennsylvania. Are you okay with that? No! All right, I thought you'd think about that while you're marching, but I guess you already have it. So I'll give you another question for you to ponder. Now I want you to take your gaze and look out at this lake. Look out at Seneca Lake, because we're going to be marching away from its banks. I want to look into your heart as you look out at this water and ask, what would you do for this lake? I think the answer to that makes us lucky people, because every now and then something extraordinary happens, a crisis, that causes people to need to rise up and do something extraordinary to match the crisis. And we happen to be the adults. It happened to us right now, and we're the ones who have to make that decision inside of our own hearts. I think that makes us lucky. My late father taught typing in high school, and he was really big on typing skills. And so he put me to work as a little girl typing over and over again the words, "Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country," over and over and over again. All right? So now is the time for all good people to come to the aid of Seneca Lake. So my question to each of us is, what would you do? What are you willing to do for this lake? With every photograph you take, with every boat ride, with every fish you catch, with every memory you make with a child or a grandchild that gives something to you, what are you willing to give back? For me, a year ago, I was willing to spend my body to stop this thing, to put my body in the way of the drill rig. And for that, I spent 10 days in jail. It turned out that I'm a really good prisoner. I'm a really good prisoner because I was a really good cancer patient. The same skill set you need to be in a hospital. You put up with lights on all night, strip searches, bad food, a television blaring are exactly the same skills you need in a jail cell. So if you've ever spent time in a hospital and you wonder if you could spend time in a jail cell, the answer is if you know how to walk down a corridor, pushing an IV drip and holding the back of your backless blue cotton gown closed with your other hand, you already know how to wear an orange jumpsuit and walk around in ankle manacles and handcuffs. What would you do for our lake? What would you do? It turns out that if you are a woman and you're arrested in Schuyler County, they don't have a women's jail. So they have to spend money sending you to a women's jail somewhere else. I think might be a strategy in there for us to ponder and converse with each other about. So you've heard that Jack Ossett, as well as some of the rest of us, including me, have formed a kind of an organization, a kind of an alliance. We call ourselves Seneca Lake Alliance for people who are willing to ponder things like that. You heard you can talk to Jack, you can also talk to me. What are you willing to do for this lake? Thanks.